can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian, and today is Friday, February 23rd, 2024, and this is episode 640 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Solar Flare. And I'll be chatting about the solar flare fallout from yesterday, some rehashed Trump theory that we'll finally get to today from TikTok land, and I guess I had heard about it before, but it's a rehash from back in 2016, and it might play a little more true today. Gonna mention the little bit of a crud I have going on, what we got looking at for the weekend, and so much more. But first, let's grab a little bit of coffee. Check out who's in the coffee crew hanging out in the live chat, and we will get to all this in just a minute. And hold on one second. I didn't fix my notes here. Let me get this right, guys, and I'll be right with you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Pip in early as always and saying he didn't even know there was a cell phone concern until dinner. Not bad, not bad. Rewilder Life, good morning, how you doing? She says that's a great goal, Pip. She wishes she hadn't known. Mike's Homestead said he knew before that, but only after service was back up. Women at work, a woman at work was complaining about it. Good morning, Hunter, hanging out over at Twitch, holding down the fort over there. You were saying that you used to be a rent-a-cop, and hey, can you be my rent-a-cop over on Twitch? You have the right amount of experience. Wilder Life's brewing some coffee and going to be planting seeds today. You're late? No, you're right on time. You are right on time. Pickle Pete, good morning. You just went to bed. Fish played late. I was wondering how your extracurricular lifestyle and being up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. was going to work on a long-term basis. I had questions. But here you are. Congratulations. What's that do for the rest of your day? I know when I would go to bed super late and get up super early, I would make it not very productive for very long, or I would have to take a nap. So we will see. We will see what happens with Pickle Pete. Anyway, good morning. Hope everyone is hope everybody's having a good day. Hunter says he didn't know about it either until after he got home. Rewilder Life's planting seeds, coffee, and tree pruning after the show. Yeah, good morning, K-Bonk. Good morning, K-Bonk. How are we doing? And Pickle P said he's a beast, and do not doubt him. I mean, dude, you are what you are. What is in the cup today? What is in the cup? Still rolling with that awesome GSD Peaberry mix. Post blend, been bouncing back and forth between 2/3 GSD and a third of the light or medium Peaberry. Today I think it was more of a half and half of the two, and the half of the Peaberry was mixed, light and medium. Back to that. I think it really kicks off with the darker Peaberry on a third ratio with the GSD. And I'm excited to try some with some dark roast Peaberry mixed with GSD. Might have something coming up in the future with that. If you're on Noster or in the Telegram group or LinkedIn and X or Twitter, I believe, is where I hit those. So no. Oh, anyway, that's what's in the cup. It is fantastic. Like I mentioned a couple times this week, it's like scrutinizing the things that you like the most, like trying to rank things that would be sufficient. Even the worst is the best. Even the worst is better than most that you've had. Even the worst of the group is satisfactory. It's a good position to be in. It really is. I mean, when you can mess around and you're almost guaranteed like you can't fuck it up, that is a really, really good place to be testing out things. So I'm really enjoying playing around with the coffee and dialing in what I like, and then eventually I'll just send Brian a custom order every month, and that's a benefit of the C4. If you don't know anything about the C4, head on over to foodforestfarms.com, check it out. Talk to me, talk to Brian, talk to several people that are members of the C4 to understand really the value of the club. It is very, very affordable and very worth the money. So definitely check that out. And if you have any questions, if you want to try the coffee up front, you can always get 10% off with discount code LOTS10. That's LOTS 10, the number 10, LOTS 10 at checkout over at Food Forest Farms. Get you 10% off, one-time coupon. Give the coffee a try. It is fantastic. I love it every day. Can't miss it. So anyway, let's get rolling on with today's topics. So there was a cell phone outage yesterday. Did you guys know that? Looks like people in the audience are saying they didn't. Pip didn't know till dinner. Mike's Homestead didn't know until some lady at work was complaining that she probably couldn't play her games at work, and that was upsetting to her because she was at work and wanted to play her games. Hunter didn't know until he got home. So yeah, I knew about it. Rachel posted it in the group in the morning, I think. So it was kind of on my radar. I don't have AT&T, so it didn't really send up a signal flare like, holy shit, even though I had to go to town yesterday. And man, if I was doing laundry with no cell service, that would be a rough one. I had intentions of taking a notepad with me to do some old school manual work, writing things down, or possibly a book. I wasn't sure, but it didn't seem like Verizon was affected, and it didn't seem as much as though AT&T was affected in Tennessee. So I was like, meh, whatever. It's a big nothing burger. It's some people freaking out. And I put it on my list to look into when I got home. Yesterday was kind of messed up. I actually hit like a medical wall. I don't know what to call it, medical wall. I felt like shit. I really felt like shit. I was starting to kind of be off and on for weeks here, really, since I had that whole chest thing going on. And yesterday, it hit me like a wall. I was coughing, a really dry cough. It feels like I have like a mix between a sinus infection and like a respiratory thing, or I don't know. It's odd for sure. It's odd. It wasn't like down and out, like I felt like I was dying. It was more like uncomfortable, and what came in waves of lethargy and man, I gotta lay down kind of thing. And so I was telling Corey, and I went down. I had to get propane. Had to. But our laundry pile and our grocery list were very, very small. And so she said, just go down and get propane and come back. And I was like, that sounds really great, because I didn't feel like it was going to be the most fantastic thing hanging out in the laundromat, feeling the way I was feeling. And so I went down there, got the propane, came back, and I passed out. Like, I took a 2-3 hour nap, like hard nap yesterday afternoon. And I felt a little better. I kind of took it easy that night, and that was all right. I slept really well last night. So far, so good this morning. She asked me how I was feeling, if I was feeling better, and I felt okay yesterday morning. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. I don't know. I don't know. So hopefully I feel better over the weekend because I got a lot of shit to do. And yesterday I didn't accomplish too much because I was napping most of the day, and that is definitely not my normal routine. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Thanks for stopping in. Rewilder Life says she has AT&T as Downs. My mom, so I couldn't get a hold of them for a check-in. They live in the middle of nowhere. Did make me think we should have a solution. Okay, gotcha. Pickle Pete says I double dog dare you to trip at the laundromat. No thanks. No thanks. Just set, what is that? Setting and situation. Setting. Like, what are the three most important things of having a good psychedelic experience there, Mr. Shaman? I don't think laundromat fits in that wheelhouse for me. Rachel needs a spell check, but I understood. Her mom has AT&T. She couldn't get a hold of her, so she was wondering if she needed backup plans. Does mom have a landline? I know those are disappearing. I saw an article at one point that one area was like legit just turning them off. They're done. What? But I like it. Um, sorry. Yeah, this it's just like a really weird dry thing going on. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I did that. I came home, I took a nap, and so I didn't have a ton of show prep, but I'm excited. So I dug into the cell phone thing while I was kind of recovering in the evening. I started reading about this outage, and of course, I pulled open TikTok, and that was in the main flow for sure was this AT&T cell phone outage, and so I started looking at it, and I started thinking objectively about it because I have Verizon, I don't have AT&T, so it didn't seem as though Verizon was affected very much, and I went down the rabbit hole, and it said a lot of the official reports were huge solar flare at 318 or like whatever the time was as far as where they were reporting, and then almost instantly AT&T service in isolated areas started going out. Now, I might be wrong on this. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I'm sure. It happens. Ask my wife. I'm wrong all the time. I am pretty sure when we witness a solar flare that there is a delay before it gets to Earth. The effects, the solar radiation. I don't think it's instant. I could be wrong. But I feel as though throughout my life, when I've heard about solar flare and solar activities, it's always like, hey, there was a big solar flare eruption on the sun. This will be affecting us in like a couple days. Am I wrong on that? Am I remembering that wrong? I was never big into the whole, oh, it's 11 minutes is all it is, Pickle Pete. Okay. Maybe it was more that they were predicting the cycles, the solar activity cycles as more than the actual event. That might be where I'm being confused, but I always felt like there was a well, that's what I was going to get to, Mike Homestead. That's what I was going to get to. So that was one thing that I was like, huh. I always remember there being kind of a little bit of we know this is kind of coming, so be ready for the radios to not work very well. So this is how long ago I'm remembering this. Sorry, I'm listening to something over here. I think we might have a mouse in the wall. Sorry. um okay, I'm catching up on some education here. Pickle Pete says, but they see them rolling chairs aiming at us in advance. Canadian Farm says that they can watch the sunspots and predict when they point at Earth. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. That's okay. Okay. All right. They see it coming they can predict it. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so the solar flare spit its load at us unexpectedly. It was a premature solar flare that shot out at the Earth. We got gooed. Um, why only AT&T? First of all, why why only AT&T? Why only certain areas? If you looked at the map, if you happen to see the map, and I didn't find one this morning. I was looking into other stuff. But if you looked at the map, it was really, really, really isolated as far as I'm concerned. They were listing states and they didn't even get to like half the states in the country. And then when you looked at those states, they were they were super, super isolated, like concentrated areas. And I was like, this doesn't sound like a solar flare to me. And again, I could be wrong. Any of these any of you solar flare experts, maybe that's how it rolls. Maybe that's how we roll here with the solar flare. Maybe it only hits like little dots on the Earth. Hunter says it was bouncing around too, inconsistent. He believes, now this is Hunter. Don't yell at me, guys, especially if you believe in the solar flare. Don't believe me. Hunter, I can get you his address if you guys want to go talk to him in person. But Hunter said it had to be programming and or hacking. I concur. Um, I don't think it's equipment failure because it's too widespread, even though widespread not meaning total coverage, but isolated distance between them. I don't think those they would be smart enough, or they would be dumb enough. I guess it would be dumb enough to have all those linked to where one goes down, they all go down. You don't build a network like that with redundancy. Maybe AT&T does, or maybe that's why it was so isolated, was because of their redundancy. But I don't think that. And I just can't see that full. I just can't see the solar flare being that isolated and only one carrier. And I think people started to pick up on the one carrier because initially, when I was reading the articles, it was AT&T, AT&T, AT&T. And then it was AT&T and light outages on several other networks. But they never really dove into any other maps of any other networks being down other than the ones that are using AT&T towers. Obviously, if their tower's down, it doesn't matter what the network is if they're using that tower. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Rachel said her top 3 she noticed that it was a cyber attack. AT&T messed up, which is more than likely what I think, or the solar thing. I would put solar flare at the end. Uh-oh. Hunter cleared his throat. He found, okay, I got to read this in a second here. Canadian Farm says if it was a solar flare that was not just a localized problem, it should have affected way more things. That's what I was thinking. And Hunter cleared his throat. Let me clear my throat. And then also put quotes on this. So this is important. This is important information. I will read this quote. I'm going to put it on the screen too if you want to read along. Quote, sunspot region 3590 remains restless with a M4.8 solar flare today, but again, this solar flare is not eruptive. A hot topic today for those in North America has been the nationwide cell phone outage for AT&T. Was it caused by the two X-class solar flares from the same sunspot region? Christian Harris from Space Weather Trackers explains why this is not the case. Case closed. It wasn't the solar flare. What was it? I mean, people freaking out, like literally freaking out. So I love the guys up there at Kentucky Sustainable Living. Love them. Immediately, and if this was planned, this was genius. It was like, who's the time traveler in Kentucky Sustainable Living? But I saw last night that went live with an emergency comms meeting. Wasn't the cell phone back up by like 9 o'clock in the morning? And I get, let's be prepared. Let's be prepared. You spin up a live stream that fast, rock and roll. I mean, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. But we didn't have any information. There was no information about that. Hunter says he saw one thing that AT&T hit the wrong button. Yep. Now, the fact that people were freaking out this fast when isolated one carrier went down in spotty places. And I saw an absolute meltdown on several places across the interwebs that it was the end of the world. Like, this is it. This is it. Russia exploded an EMP over the United States. And I was like, that's not really how that works. They were getting ready to launch their EMP and they just selected AT&T on the settings. We're like, we're really going to fuck with those guys. We're going to really disrupt AT&T service in Texas and Oregon and Nebraska. Click, click, click. That's how it went. I don't know. I mean, it's an important thing. It's an important thing to think about. Don't get me wrong. Communication has been something Corey and I have thought about quite a bit since we've been in Tennessee for the last year, almost going on a year, 10 months, I guess, because our cell phone service rarely works around here. I mean, in general areas it works, and the rest it does not. The bigger cities, the bigger towns I go to, it'll work around where we are, and like where I'm working at Tim's property, no coverage whatsoever. So this is something that's been on my mind for going on a year. So seeing AT&T go spotty in one spot or another was not it was a blip on the radar. Boop, gone. Rewilder Life says, this is why I hate to be put in the prepper category. Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't fit into any category. Hunter says, okay, so how it works is the other providers pay to use the tower. Yeah. But if was the tower down? Yeah, Hunter says it was the towers themselves. Okay. Right. I'm picking up what you're laying down, but I'm not sure where you're walking. Canadian Farmstead rolling out some REM this morning. That's great. It starts with an earthquake, bird snakes, and aeroplanes. It's the end of the world as we know it. Oh, no. It's going to be a long day, guys. It's Friday. It's Friday. So, I mean, general consensus was it wasn't a fucking solar flare. that's what I'm taking from my audience, from what I've read, my gut feeling, and everything else. It wasn't a solar flare. Let's move on. Let's move on. I got TikTok theory from the other day. TikTok conspiracy theory. I was waiting just face north. You got it. You got it, Pickle Pete. Thanks, Canadian Farmstead. I appreciate that. That'll be in my head all day long. Probably for the next couple days. I'm guessing after the show, I'll roll it up on YouTube and listen to the whole song. If it wasn't going to be a copyright violation, I might just stop the whole damn thing and do it right now. It's going down. I guess if it's actually the start of the end of the world, I don't need to worry about copyright violations. Let's just fucking do it. TikTok conspiracy theories from earlier this week. I had a list, and these were fun. Canadian Farmstead says he's sorry, Corey. She gives you a Pickle Pete says TikTok theory of the day. Yeah, I don't know. They've been pretty interesting, and I think they could go long. I think they could go long, too long to be every day, but definitely have been jotting down the TikTok theories I want to touch on the show because they're fun. They're fun. I love it. I love it. Gavin says if someone accuses you of wearing a tinfoil hat, tell them that's better than wearing a blindfold. What if you wear a tinfoil blindfold? Canadian Farmstead asked where Conspiracy Kyle was, and that's kind of where I was dragging here. I've been watching the clock, waiting for Kyle to stop in and say, "Hey, you guys!" I don't even think he was alive when fucking Goonies was made. But where is he? Where is he? He's not here. We got to go on. And this is right in Kyle's wheelhouse. If anybody's got Kyle on Telegram, you better send him a message because this is right. This is double Kyle. This is political and conspiracy. And this is just like Wilder Life says a whole podcast about all the TikTok theories, TikTok conspiracy theories. I could do it one on the stupid cleaning videos. TikTok conspiracy theories could legit be an hour every day of the week, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and you would never run out of fodder, man. Like once I watch one conspiracy theory video on TikTok, I like, oh, this could be interesting. And even if it is absolute dog shit and I'm like, and flip by, for the next 20 minutes, it's just bam, 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 bam. Rewilder Life says you want a second podcast. You know, I have been thinking about doing some late night late night Noster stuff. They really rolled out Noster Nest 2.0 today, I believe. And with the uncensorable nature of that, and maybe doing like an after dark once a week or something, that could be fun. I could really dive into these and do a lot more research, through the week, and do one solid, like, if I can stay up late enough is the problem. I go to bed too early, but that could be fun over on Noster. That would get all you guys have to get you over there, but I think that would fit really well in with that crowd. Brian writes down something on his to-do list. Blakesley Acres, his wife's probably home letting him sleep in. Well, that's what he will tell us. Yeah. Canadian Farm says After Dark is relative, especially on Noster since it's all over the world. But anyway, back to TikTok conspiracies. The other day we talked about giants and eclipses. Yesterday we talked about what was yesterday? Corey, do you remember what yesterday was? What conspiracy theory? Prison planet theory with the reptilians and the low vibration energy harvesting. That's right. How could I forget? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, the TikTok conspiracy theory that popped up on my list is about, wait for it, Orange Man himself, the 45th president, was it 45th president of the world? 45th president of the world, and still reigning champion to be Donald Trump and his son Barron. And we'll also talk about his uncle and another guy that you might have heard of. And well, as the world turns, this came up back in 2016. Is that when old Trumpy got elected the first time? And this is not a pro-Trump. This is not pro-political. This is just an observation on TikTok. So take it for what it is. Don't think I'm a Trumpster or an anti-Trump guy. I don't give two flying fucks about the whole thing. But I found the story interesting. So the way this went, Mike's Homestead. Okay, before I get into this, Mike's Homestead nails it. I was just talking to Corey about this the other day. Mike's Homestead says, I have trouble staying up late enough to even see the start of John's live at 9 o'clock. Like, legit, for sure. For sure. I do have trouble staying up that late. And recently I've been doing work after Corey goes to bed. And I told her last night that I'll be like, last night was a different case because I didn't feel well. But consistently, I've been staying up till like, I've been working along, doing Amazon shit, and I'll look at the clock and it's like after 10, and I'm like, holy shit, that's way too late. And I'm like, I should just throw John's live in my ears while I'm doing that, because that was the reason I was always going to sleep before it was on. So I hear you, Mike's Homestead. I hear you for sure. Canadian Farm says I have to pick a side. What side are you picking, Canadian Farmstead, in the world election? Pickle Pete says Barron's a robot. Nope, not Barron's a robot. Anyway, this popped up in 2016 when old Trumpster was running the first time. But there was a guy back in, let me get the years right. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess it up. And I have notes here. I've been digging in a little bit. Back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, there was a gentleman named Ingersoll Lockwood. Have you ever heard of Ingersoll Lockwood, guys? Do you know who he is? Without hitting the Google bot, without searching or anything. Ingersoll Lockwood was an author. He was an author. He wrote books. That's what authors do. Ingersoll Lockwood in 1888 published a book titled Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Weird. And then in 1896, I said 1888, so we're not 1988, 1888. And then again in 1896, so 8 years later, he published a book called The Last President. Anybody in the audience heard this? Anybody heard about this? Old Ingersoll Lockwood in 1888 and his publication of Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And in 1896, The Last President. Well, it seems as though Mr. Lockwood wrote a book in 1888, a full how many years before Baron Trump was born, the Baron Trump we know of, about a young man, a 10-year-old boy, who, let me quote here. This was from a user on TikTok. It summarized it very well, and it said, "I've thought about this every day for the past 2 years." This was back in 2016. It says, in 1888, a man named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, where a 10-year-old boy named Baron Trump, who has a mentor named Don, who is a rich man who lives on Fifth Avenue in New York City, he and Don travel to Russia to find a portal to a magical underground world. Did you hear that? In 1888, in 1888, we have a guy writing a book about a little boy named Baron Trump. Now that wasn't his full name in the book. That was an abbreviation from a long. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. The full name of the character, who was shortened to Baron. It was the full name was Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, which is a German name. And we all know where old Donnie comes. Donnie's family comes from Germany. Weird. Rewilder Life says, have I actually seen this book? Actually, I was interested in this back in 2016. And this is legit. This dude did write these books. Yeah, for sure. In the Library of Congress archives, from what I understand. It was a very important book. And the other one was too. The Last President. So Haas says this must be a time machine incident. Well, hold on, Haas. Hold on. We'll get there. The second book, so this is about Baron and a 10-year-old Baron and his mentor Don, the rich guy from New York City. They go to Russia. They find a time machine. They find a portal to the other worlds, and they have all these adventures. The second book, called The Last President, was about a rich guy in New York City, and there was all strife. Let me get down to those notes. Where is the Last President here? So The Last President was it's also known as 1900. It was released in 1896. It was this was based in New York City. The entire east side of New York City is in a state of uproar in November after a candidate is unexpectedly elected despite opposition to him. The man was not a politician. He was a rich businessman that was going to fix everything wrong. He lived on Fifth Avenue, and there was going to be riots, and it was absolutely insane. The actual president's name was not Donald, so this is not a direct correlation on The Last President. His name was Brian, Bryan, not me. It was not me. I did not travel in time to do this. But his advisor that he puts on the cabinet, check this out. In the book, this dude, Brian, the rich guy from Fifth Avenue in New York City, gets elected president. And he names to his cabinet, his top advisor, a man named Pence. Yeah. The guy's dude was Pence. What the fuck? I don't know. So So this is just a lot of coincidence, right? This is like a shitload of coincidence. So I'm reading on. Rewilder Life says we're in a sim. Canadian Farmstead says what I said was what a time traveler would say. Maybe Quantum Leap wasn't so far off, because now check this out. You think this was a lot of coincidence? There's another layer to this whole thing. So this dude Ingersoll Lockwood died in like 1918, I think. So he was around for a while. He was writing books in the 1880s, publishing books in the 1880s. He died in 1918. So he was around for a while. It's probably, been through the 1800s quite a bit. So there was another dude hanging out in New York City around the time Ingersoll Lockwood was there. Guy you might have heard of. They named a car company after him, which is kind of ironic because he probably wouldn't have invented a car like that. But Nikola Tesla hung out in the same areas as this Ingersoll Lockwood guy, and they knew each other. And so Ingersoll Lockwood might have gotten some tripped out theories, or maybe some facts, or maybe some ideas from old Nikola. Now there is an end around connection to this, to Orange Man, to Ingersoll Lockwood, to the last president, to Barron Trump's marvelous journey. Have you ever heard what happened when Nikola Tesla died? When Nikola Tesla was found in his apartment in 1943, they find Nikola Tesla in his apartment dead. Rewilder Life says she's on the end of her seat. Welcome to the Lots Project Podcast Friday edition, where you'll buy the whole ticket. You'll buy your whole seat. You'll pay for it. Oh, wow, never mind. You'll pay for your whole seat, but you'll only need the edge is the fucking thing. Canadian Farmstead said FBI came and took his papers. Well, okay, yeah. I mean, that's the gist of it. But let's talk about this for a little bit. Tesla dies in 1943 in his hotel room or apartment. His nephew, Tesla was a Serbian. You're on your second latte, Jesus. Tesla was a Serbian American naturalized citizen. His nephew was the diplomat, the Yugoslavian diplomat to the United States. When Tesla died, the next day, his nephew went to his apartment to gather some things. He said he wanted to gather some pictures. He said he wanted to gather his will. And when he arrived at the apartment, the stuff was missing. Now, it's still up in the air what the immediate intentions of his nephew were. Was it to get his will? Was it to get the few pictures that he says he was? Was it to get some secret weapon technology to give to Yugoslavia, to Germany, to someone else? Because, 1943, we were... 1943, there's something going on in the world. Little bit of turmoil in the world. Maybe they were thinking he was trying to steal secrets. We don't know. But for some reason, under the guise of national security, because the United States never does anything under the guise of national security. But under the guise of national security, the FBI seized all of Nikola Tesla's possessions. And they said, we're going to look through this, and then if there's nothing dangerous in here, we're going to give it back. You've probably heard this, right? You've heard this, that they took his shit. The government took Nikola Tesla's shit. Nikola Tesla's been talking about all sorts of fucking goofy shit, and everybody's assuming that he's insane. He was talking about like wireless technology in the early 1900s. He's talking about death rays and unlimited electricity. I mean, it's been kind of proven that the dude knew what the fuck he was talking about with DC electricity. Just saying. So, Rewild Life sending another episode off to the kids. The Giants. Rachel reached out and said the Giant episode got sent to the kids too. So Tesla's all his shit gets seized by the FBI. Now, there's some question as to why and the legality and all of that, and you know, the anti-government, the anti Pickle P says back your shit up and put it under a dead man's switch. Me? If I disappear, guys, I've been feeling kind of sick since I started talking about these conspiracy theories. Anyway, the FBI seizes a bunch of Tesla's shit. Come to find out, it was like 82 trunks. 82 trunks full of documents and other possessions. Documents being his notes, his research, his ideas, his doodles, everything. And we're going to need to evaluate this. Well, we know the government isn't fucking smart enough to evaluate Nikola Tesla's notes. Like, they're going to look at it and go, yeah, look at this. You know, that's what I think the government agents look like. So they had to come up with somebody smarter to look at this. Somebody that could understand it and actually give it credence or not. Look through this, look through these notes, look through this. And so they went on a search. They went on a search to find someone to look at the notes, to look at all this stuff and say, hey, is there anything we should work on here? Is there anything that we shouldn't work on? Is it all a bunch of fluff? Did the dude go off his rocker? Like, what's the deal? So, does anybody know who they gave them to? This guy was an MIT professor, probably one of the smartest guys in the world at the time, barring Tesla, maybe. At least he thought that he was. Ended up being like the longest tenured professor in MIT history or something. I don't think he's still alive. Yeah, this dude named John Trump. John Trump. That last name's really familiar. Anybody heard it before? John Trump, professor, MIT, was given 80 trunks of notes and things from Nikola Tesla. I believe it was 80. Might have been 82. Might have been 62. I'm not sure. Nobody really knows. Can you trust anything, really? So this dude, John Trump. Yeah, coincidentally, he happens to be the uncle of that fucking guy we were talking about earlier. Not Barron. Donnie. It's Donnie's uncle. Donnie's uncle gets the trunks. Donnie's uncle looks through all the trunks and goes over all the information. Reads all his notes. Says, I've come to a conclusion, guys. I've looked over all this crazy man stuff, and that's what it is. It's fucking crazy. There is nothing coincidental or nothing consequential in here. It's all a bunch of conjecture. There's no workable theories. It's all bullshit. John Trump, stamp of approval. Tesla's a loon. It's all bullshit. But for some reason, there were trunks missing when old John Trump gave back the trunks to the FBI. The inventories didn't match. What happened? What happened to these trunks that went away of all this information that was just inconsequential and nothing worth working on? The stuff was returned to Tesla's nephew, his family. Here you go. Here's all the stuff he was working on. Bunch of shit missing though. Weird. Pickle Pea says it's all bullshit, but I'll make a few copies. Fuck that. He took it. Now, come to find out, do you know what Nikola Tesla was working on? One of the things among the million things he was working on. Like I mentioned earlier, there was a death ray. There was wireless technology. There was all sorts of interesting things he was working on. But one thing he was working on that he might have talked to Ingersoll Lockwood about was time travel. Dun, dun, dun. Ingersoll Lockwood may have discussed time travel with Nikola Tesla, who was working on it in his notes, which were confiscated at his death by the FBI, given to John Trump, and possibly not returned. What did John Trump do with the time machine? Did he build the time machine? Did Donald Trump actually come back? Has he been traveling in time? Did Baron Trump actually go to Russia where they built a time machine and went down a tunnel? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. But the weird thing is, think about this, movie stars. What did Doc do in Back to the Future when he went back to 1885 and he was trying to get a message to Marty in the future? Did he write a book? Did he write things about a character that only Marty would know about? Letting him know where he was in history? What he was doing? Canadian Farmstead says Tesla knew Trump was going to steal his work and left breadcrumbs for us to follow through Ingersoll's books. What are we thinking here, guys? What are we thinking? The things you learn on TikTok, huh? The things you learn on TikTok. I don't know. Just a lot of and somebody said it. Somebody said it in one of the articles I was reading was, you start putting facts together. You start putting these weird things like Ingersoll Lockwood writing a book about Baron Trump, which was it was shortened from a longer name, whatever. Baron Trump. Baron is a term. It's like Mr. Don, pretty common name. Yeah, whatever. I can poo-poo this away. Last president. Guy Alexa Visor Pence. Trump's vice president. He picks Pence, which was a weird fucking choice, wasn't it? All the coincidences lining up. John Trump being the guy that got the thing, all these things. The guy said, as every layer gets added onto this, the mathematical statistical possibility of this all happening coincidentally becomes astronomical. I don't know. Do I believe it? I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. Will it ever matter? Not at all. Do we have time travel? If we ever have time travel, we have it now. Think about it. If time travel is ever invented in the future of the whole world, universe or whatever, if time travel is ever invented, it's always been invented, right? because if we can go back, we can already be there. Gavin saying that's why we have the Mandela effect. Guys, oh, no. I heard the best explanation of the Mandela effect. I have to write this down. This is going, Jesus, this is going to be next week. We're going to have to have some more conspiracy shit because Mandela effect. And just a sneak preview, it has something to do with a nuclear holocaust in the 80s. Just so you, this is a good one. This is a good one. Canadian Farm said unless you can't travel back in time. Well, if you can travel in time, you can travel in time. Oh, you saying you can only accelerate time? Reweiler Life says, I see a whole new podcast. I don't know. That's a lot of work. I don't know. Whew, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some Quantum Leap for sure. I'm gonna listen to REM and watch Quantum Leap all morning. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna get nothing done. Oh, so that was your entertainment for this morning. Canadian Farm says you can only jump forward. The past has already happened, but are you still in the past? Are you physically still in the past? Like, can you go back to where you were originally in current time? Because if you go forward in time and then go back to static to where you were originally, that would be going back. But once you go, you're just gone forever. You can't go back. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand how time travel works. You'll need to explain it to me. Oh, what's going on this weekend, guys? Let's hit that. We're coming up here on the top of the hour, and I'm gonna pass it off to old scrambling Bojangles or scrambling McScramble McMuffin over on the Seattle side. Haas says he's going back to bed. Have a great weekend. Haas, thanks for getting up and listening. Canadian Farm says wondering how long I got. Oh. Oh no. Anyway, what's going on this weekend? Scrambling's channel is Food Forest Farms, I believe is what you can search for. Brian, drop a link in my Telegram chat, and Canadian Farmstead or Hunter will be able to find it. He's only on YouTube. He isn't streaming over to Twitch. So, what do we have this weekend? I got coming up. I got to work over at Tim's. Corey and I are going to go out. We had been doing a lot of hiking out at the state park. We decided that now that it's nice and we can get some work done out at Delinquent Scully, that will be a decent exercise. We can also go for a hike there. And Tim is looking to get a path, a walking, hiking, jogging, whatever path on the property. What better way to go hike and work out than to clear trail and get some work get some work going out there. So I think that's yes, at Food Forest Farms on YouTube, Hunter. So I think we're gonna go out there. We're gonna work on the campsites. We're gonna get a look at the elderberries and all the stuff I installed. See if it's taken. See, we had a nice week here of some decent temperatures, a little rain yesterday, and by Saturday we'll see if we got any growth. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Might be taken off. It's been pretty nice. We'll check on the comfrey patches. We will clean up some campsites. We'll cut some paths and get some exercise in. Other than that, man, I got a ton of videos to make. Yesterday, like I said, I slept most of the day, took a nap, didn't feel really up to making any videos. So I got a pile of products here that I need to make some unboxing videos, some demo videos. I got to get my stamp seed stuff going so then I can secure my personal wallet with the second stamp seed plate that they sent. Excited to get that done, get everything locked down and secure and tucked away on that jade. And yeah, what else we got going on? Just paracord projects. We're going to be working on more paracord stuff. We got some keychains done. We got bracelets done. We got some begleries done. Getting some more little supplies ordered up for that, doing some other projects. We're going to be excited to get those up on Etsy, on our website, and have them in person at SRF. Guys, if you are interested in going to SRF here at the end of the show, if you're interested in going to SRF, you can still get tickets at the SRF website. In the comments here, or in the live chat, I just posted the link to get your tickets at SRF. Using my affiliate code, I get a little kickback when you use that. So if you're going to be in the Camden, Tennessee area at the beginning of April, I believe it's the first weekend in April 6th and 7th. Stop by and see me at Reliance Festival. I will be running the content creator booth where we'll be doing some interview stuff, some recording content, some hanging out. We'll also have a vendor tent and be selling all sorts of stuff and talking to people, meeting people, connecting, networking, exchanging information, ideas, and resources. So going to be in the area within a drive. Definitely pick up that ticket. And yeah, I'd like to see you there. Other than that, like I said, go hang out with old Scrambling Bojangles, Sensi. He smells. Sensei Scrambling is what he put in the chat over at Food Forest Farms YouTube channel. Be sure to check out foodforestfarms.com, the sponsor of the show, to grab yourself some awesome coffee. And if you're looking to buy coffee with Bitcoin, we might have spun out a new coffee blend only for Bitcoin because it's that good. It's that good. I will only sell it for Bitcoin. Yeah, it's good, guys, for sure. Anyway, been a fun episode. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. If you enjoyed the show, there's a few ways you can show it. You can always do the free thing, hit that like, hit the share, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and tell a friend. Otherwise, you can return value for value. Please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com to find out more, find my partner companies, my discount codes, all that stuff, and comfrey orders, all sorts of things. Check out the shop, see all the things, and read all the articles. I appreciate it. Other than that, it's Friday, guys. Have an awesome weekend. Get a shitload done, or just send money. Hunter says it right there. If you want, just send money. Just send money. If you need an address, let me know. Specifically Bitcoin. I can get it to you. Lightning. Sure. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Get tons of stuff done. Or if you're tired and you need some rest, get some sleep. But hey, we'll circle back. We'll see you on Monday morning.